Right then, Forest faithful, something massive is brewing at the city ground, and I guarantee you're not prepared for what's coming. We're talking about a club that's dropped to 16th in the table, yes, but there's so much more happening behind the scenes that'll make your head spin. 5 stories that'll change everything you think you know about where this season's heading. First up, we've got a positional nightmare that's got Postecoglou scratching his head every single night. Then there's an injury crisis that's deeper than the trend, affecting players you didn't even know were struggling. After that, we're diving into tactical questions that have some of our own supporters turning on the gaffer already. But here's where it gets interesting, Forest fans, because while everyone's panicking about league position, there's transfer business being planned that'll blow your minds. We're talking serious money, serious ambition, and serious intent for January. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I need to know something from you lot. Do you still back Postecoglou after these results? Because what I'm about to reveal might just change your perspective completely. Smash that like button if you're ready for the truth, and drop a comment telling me where you stand right now. The first revelation involves our league position, and trust me, it's worse than you think, but also better than it appears. Confused? You should be. Let's dive in. He's the man who was supposed to transform our fortunes, bring that attacking philosophy from Tottenham to the city ground. But right now, Ange Postecoglou is staring at a Premier League table that makes for grim reading. I'm talking about our current position, 16th place, just one spot above the relegation zone. One single point separating us from the trapdoor that leads straight back to the championship. Now, let me put this into context for you, because the numbers don't lie. We finished 7th last season under Nuno, qualifying for the Europa League for the first time in nearly 3 decades. That's a 9-position drop in just 8 matches. 9 positions. But here's what's really doing my head in. We've had what most would consider a relatively easy start to the season. Arsenal away was always going to be tough, fair enough. But after that, Swansea, Burnley, Real Betis, Sunderland. These should have been winnable games, especially the home fixtures. The Sunderland defeat was the final straw for many. A 1-0 loss at home to the Black Cats, with our own supporters booing the team off the pitch. Omar Alderweireld header from a controversial free kick decision was enough to condemn us to our 5th game without a win under Postecoglou. What makes this even more frustrating is the style of football we're trying to play. Postecoglou's demanding system requires players to be technically excellent, physically fit, and mentally sharp. When any of those elements are missing, the whole thing falls apart like a house of cards. The upcoming fixtures don't get any easier either. Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Bournemouth away, plus European commitments with Midtjylland and Porto. We're looking at potentially dropping even further down the table if these performances continue. Here's the question that's keeping me awake at night. Is this just growing pains with the new system, or are we witnessing the early signs of a relegation battle? What do you think, Forest fans? Are you still believing in Postecoglou's process? Let me know in the comments right now, because if you think our league position is concerning, wait until you hear about the injury crisis that's crippling our squad. There's a defender at this club who was supposed to be the cornerstone of Postecoglou's new-look Forest side, but he's been missing in action when we need him most, and the reasons are more concerning than anyone's letting on. I'm talking about Murillo, our Brazilian center-back, who's still sidelined with a thigh injury that just won't heal properly. Postecoglou confirmed recently that the 22-year-old is still experiencing discomfort and continues individual training, with no clear return date in sight. Now, this isn't just any defender we're talking about. Murillo was one of our standout performers last season, forming a crucial partnership in defense that helped secure that 7th-place finish. His absence has forced Postecoglou to constantly shuffle his defensive setup, relying on the likes of Nikola Milenkovic and Morata, who are both under immense pressure. But the injury crisis doesn't stop there. Douglas Luiz, our marquee summer signing for Juventus, is also struggling with hamstring problems. The Brazilian was substituted at halftime against Real Betis after experiencing discomfort, and he missed the crucial Sunderland match entirely. The timing couldn't be worse. Douglas Luiz arrived with such promise. That £30 million obligation to buy next summer showing our serious intent. He's supposed to be the engine in Postecoglou's midfield, the player who can dictate tempo and provide the technical quality we've been crying out for. What's particularly worrying is how these injuries are affecting our tactical flexibility. Without Murillo's pace and ball-playing ability from the back, we're struggling to build play from defense. Without Douglas loses press resistance and passing range, we're losing control of midfield battles. The medical staff are working overtime, but there's only so much they can do when players' bodies are adapting to Postecoglou's intense training methods. The Australian system is notoriously demanding, both physically and mentally, and it's clear some of our squad are finding it difficult to cope. Nicholas Dominguez has just returned from 4 months out with meniscus surgery, thrown straight back into action against Sunderland. It's a massive risk, but we simply don't have the luxury of easing players back gradually. The question is, are these injuries just bad luck, or is Postecoglou's training regime too intense for our current squad? Comment below and tell me what you think about this injury epidemic. Speaking of pressure, wait until you hear about the tactical scrutiny that's got everyone questioning the manager's methods. There's a tactical approach being implemented at the City ground that's dividing opinion faster than any manager in recent memory, and the man responsible is feeling the heat like never before. I'm talking about Ange Postecoglou and his philosophy that's supposed to revolutionize how Nottingham Forest play football. But 5 games without a win have got people asking serious questions about whether his methods actually work in the Premier League. Here's the brutal reality: we're creating chances, but not converting them. Against Burnley and Sunderland combined, we managed just 1 goal from 39 shots. 39. That's not just poor finishing. That's a systematic problem with how we're approaching the final third. Postecoglou himself admitted after the Sunderland defeat that the team is not ruthless enough in front of goal. But is it really about ruthlessness, or is it about the system itself? His high press, attacking philosophy leaves us exposed defensively, and when we don't score early, teams sit back and hit us on the counter. The Morgan Gibbs-White situation perfectly illustrates the tactical confusion. Our star player, the man who signed a record contract just 2 months ago, was dropped to the bench for the first time under Postecoglou against Sunderland. Instead, James McCarthy got his first Premier League start. Now, that's either tactical genius or complete madness, depending on your perspective. Gibbs-White is our most creative player, our captain, the man who carries this team when things get tough. To leave him out for such a crucial home match, that takes serious conviction in your tactical approach. The fans aren't buying it either. The boos at full-time against Sunderland told the whole story. These are supporters who backed Nuno through thick and thin, who celebrated European qualification with genuine emotion. To turn on a manager this quickly shows how concerned they are about the direction we're heading. What's really concerning is how Postecoglou's system seems to work better in Europe than domestically. The 2-2 to draw with Real Betis showed glimpses of what this team can do when the tactical approach clicks. But in the Premier League, teams know exactly how to frustrate us. The high defensive line, the constant pressing, the demand for technical perfection under pressure. It's all very well in theory, but the Premier League is brutal. One mistake and you're punished. One moment of hesitation and you lose momentum. Are we witnessing a manager who's too stubborn to adapt? Or is this simply the growing pains of implementing a completely new philosophy? The jury's still out, but time is running short. What's your verdict on Postecoglou's tactics? Forest fans, is he the revolutionary we need, or are we heading for disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because while everyone's debating tactics, there's transfer business being planned that could solve everything. There's a defender playing in La Liga right now who could be the missing piece in Postecoglou's defensive puzzle, and the rumors suggest we're prepared to break the bank to get him. I'm talking about Atletico Madrid center back, and the whispers are that Forest are ready to splash £25 million to bring him to the City ground in January. Now, that's serious money for a club that's already spent over £100 million this summer. But here's why this makes complete sense. Postecoglou's system demands center backs who can play out from the back, defend high up the pitch, and cover enormous amounts of ground. With Murillo's injury problems and the defensive frailties we've shown, a top-class addition is absolutely essential. Atletico's defender fits the profile perfectly. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet, experienced in high-pressure situations, and used to playing in a system that requires intelligence and athleticism. The £25 million fee might seem steep, but in today's market, it's actually quite reasonable for a player of his caliber. But that's not all. There's also talk of a £15 million gem being targeted, another savvy addition that shows the club's commitment to supporting Postecoglou. In the transfer market, this could be the creative spark we need, the player who can unlock tight defenses and provide the final ball we've been missing. What's really interesting about these rumors is the timing. January transfer windows are notoriously difficult, but Forest seem to be planning ahead, identifying exact needs and preparing to act decisively. It shows that despite the poor start to the season, the board still believes in the project. The financial aspect is fascinating too. We've already committed huge money to players like Douglas Luiz, Igor Jesus, and James McCarthy. To spend another £40 million combined in January would take our total outlay to well over £250 million in less than 12 months. That's either incredible ambition or dangerous financial planning, depending on your perspective. But one thing's certain, it shows this club isn't content to accept mediocrity. The owners are backing Postecoglou with serious investment, giving him the tools to succeed. The question is whether these signings would be enough to turn things around. Can you solve tactical problems with individual quality? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But when you're sitting 16th in the table, you need all the help you can get. Think about it. A solid defender who can play Postecoglou's style, plus a creative player who can unlock stubborn defenses. That could be the difference between European qualification and a relegation battle. What do you think about these transfer rumors, Forest fans? Are £25 million and £15 million signings what we need right now? Or should we be looking at different areas of the squad? Let me know your transfer priorities in the comments, because all of this brings us to the biggest question of all. So here we are, Forest faithful. 5 stories that paint a picture of a club at a crossroads. A moment that will define not just this season, but potentially the next few years of our history. We're 16th in the league, 1 point above relegation. We've got key players injured, tactical questions being asked, and transfer speculation swirling. But you know what? This might just be the making of us. Think about it. Every great transformation comes with growing pains. Manchester City didn't become champions overnight under Guardiola. Arsenal struggled in Arteta's early months. Even Liverpool had their doubts about Klopp's methods in those first seasons. The difference is belief. Do we believe in Ange Postecoglou's vision? Do we trust that the £200 million summer investment, plus potentially another £40 million in January, will eventually click into place? Do we have the patience to see this project through? Because here's what I see when I look at this squad: incredible potential being unlocked by a manager who refuses to compromise on his principles. Yes, we're struggling now. Yes, the results haven't been good enough, but the foundation for something special is being built. Douglas Luiz will get fit. Murillo will return. The new signings will gel. And when that happens, when Postecoglou's system finally clicks with the right personnel, we could be looking at something truly special at the City ground. The January transfer window could be crucial. Those rumored signings, the £25 million defender, the £15 million creative player, they could be the final pieces of the puzzle. The moves that transform us from relegation candidates to European contenders. But it's not just about the players. It's about us, the supporters. We backed Nuno through difficult times, and look how that ended. European qualification. Memorable nights. A season we'll never forget. Postecoglou deserves the same backing, the same patience, the same belief. The next few months will tell us everything. Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, European nights under the City ground lights. These are the games that will define our season. That will show whether this project is working or whether changes need to be made. My prediction: by January, we'll be climbing the table. The injuries will clear up, the tactical understanding will improve, and those transfer targets will be secured. This time next year, we'll be talking about European qualification again. Maybe even Champions League football. What's your prediction for the rest of the season? Are you backing Postecoglou to come good? Do you think those transfer rumors will materialize? And most importantly, do you believe in this project? Smash that like button if you're still backing Forest to turn this around. Hit subscribe for more honest analysis. And drop a comment telling me your biggest hope and biggest fear for the rest of this season. Until next time, keep the faith, Forest fans. The best is yet to come. Asterisk.